So, our next matchup, this is round 3, our last match of the night. We've got Branden, who you might remember won last night, the Modern Tournament.
Might remember if you watched it last night.
Well, I know I watched it last night. But he's playing tonight, running Mono Red, going up against Dason,
who I believe is practicing for GP Vegas standard side events.
That is correct. Both of these players, these are, like I mentioned earlier, our youngest players here, by the way.
Yeah, I believe Dason is 13.
13 years old, and Branden is 8. They're both undefeated tonight, having played against multiple pretty good decks, and they're both planning on being in Vegas next week. So we'll see who takes it tonight.
Yeah.
And maybe if you're in Vegas next week, you can give him a shot and try and see if you can take him down, because the people here have been having a tough time doing it. The monthly calendar, Strange Brew. Thank you for asking. I think you might have just missed our commercial break in between rounds. Monthly calendars. Thank you, Jake, the tech guy. Always there for me, just like State Farm. All right, monthly June schedule. This is our monthly schedule for Magic. It comes out every month. So in July, we're probably going to have a new one. And you can see next week we got a Battle Bond draft coming up and a Standard Showdown.
Quad weekly calendar as well.
Quad weekly. We're going to need to get on the naming
quintuplet
scheme.
Weekly calendar for June here.
Something. We're going to name it something, but it does come out every month for our monthly events. Now, we do have a match going on right now. I think they're ready. There's the die roll. So thank you for the question, Strange Brews. Appreciate it. Here's Dason presenting for the cut. Did you see who won the roll?
I did not, because the
believe it. I think
the monthly
I think
calendar.
It was Dason. Yeah, the monthly calendar really threw me off there.
Yeah.
It happens every
It's
month.
hard to see through the monthly calendar.
All right, so right now we have myself, Andy. Sitting next to me is Paul. And then behind me we actually have Mike joining us now.
How's it going?
We don't say that when we come in here, Mike.
No, you don't say it, but freedom of speech and all.
Aloha.
Oh, that's yeah.
Oh, you guys are killing me.
We got some lands.
We got Cast Out Fairgrounds Warden. I haven't seen much of that lately. Strategic Planning and an Angel of Invention, along with 3 lands.
Do you know the flavor text of Fairgrounds Warden?
I know one of our old players knew it and drilled it into my head. You're coming with me. Thank you, Zach. If you're watching, I'm never gonna forget that. All right, so it looks like Dason's gonna keep. Decent hand, 3 mana, good spells. Still haven't gotten an Aloha out of Mike.
Aloha!
What are you, a Muppet?
Yep.
He's a man.
Oh.
Looks like Branden took a mulligan, or
worries.
did he splash his deck?
He splashed his deck.
It happens. There's a judge there to take care of it, though, so we're good.
Yeah.
As long as it's still randomized, I think it doesn't affect the game. Alright, so Branden's hand. Looking at 2 lands. Soulscar Mage. Lightning Strike. You see it every now and then.
Earthshaker Kenner.
Hazret and Earthshaker Kenner. So he's got 1-2 turns. Looks like a decent hand. Had to mulligan to it, but
I'd keep it.
Yep.
Keepable hand. It's not going to interact much with Dason, but it's a thing.
Yep. Dason with the Cast Out and the Fairground Warden. He's
hopefully Dason knows to keep up this Cast Out for the Hazret.
Strategic Planning.
His job is going to be keeping this board clear as much as he can until he can get to.
You saw what he kept there?
I didn't see it, but he's about to pull it into his hand.
It's a Champion of Wits.
There you go.
You drew an Aven Wing Guide, which gives all your token creatures vigilance and flying.
And we've talked about how old these young guys are, right? 13 and 8, and they're both going to the Grand Prix, both confirmed to go to Phoenix.
Vegas. Even.
Vegas,
excuse me.
They're both definitely going to Vegas, and
we don't know that they're not going to Phoenix.
They might.
You know what? Maybe they'll go to Phoenix.
They could definitely fly,
They could fly through
and
stop
Sky
off
Harbor
Burger.
International.
Yeah.
right now I think we have 3 undefeated players tonight, and this is 2 of them.
This is 2 of them.
So, discarding creatures.
Pitching his Aven Wing Guide and Island.
Now, once you see a player discarding a Champion of Wits, you gotta pin him on Godfarrow's Gift. Between the Champion of Wits and discarding creatures to it, there has to be Godfarrow's Gift. Looks like Lightning Strike on the Champion.
Lightning, yep. Champion Wits will get 3 -1/-1 counters.
Thanks to Soulscar. Soulscar Mage.
One interaction that could have been done there was to Lightning Strike the Champion of Wits in response to the card draw.
Dason exile on this Kenra.
Yep. We're about to see a Hazaret.
He's on 4 mana. He opted for the Crasher instead.
Yeah. Seems fine for damage.
Now, if he blocks, he gives back to
Probably
Kenra.
wouldn't exert here.
No, because you want him to block.
Yeah. Blocking wouldn't do anything.
Drew a land. That's 5 mana, so he's...
Yep. He's got his Angel Invention.
Making servos or pumping them up?
I think he's gonna.
He's probably make servos because with the
Fairground Warden?
Soul Scar Mage out.
Alright, there's the
it would
Hazaret.
easily shrink.
There's Hazaret. Branden, I see
However,
one card over there. I don't know if... Yeah, just one card.
A Goblin Chain Whirler would really mess up Dason's board here.
Yeah. We're pretty lucky not to have seen those yet. Looks like Fairgrounds Warden... No, Angel was the one not allowed to attack. To block.
Yeah, and the 3/2 here should be dying. It's a 2/2 servo. Yep.
So Branden lost a lot of that attack there.
Yeah.
Still haven't seen any Godfarrow's Gift or Refurbish. So
We also haven't seen any Chain Whirlers.
But we got the mana for it.
Yep. Another Crasher, it looks like.
Yep. Let's see if he attacks and or exerts.
3 damage on the Warden, but that's not enough.
Not gonna kill it. Might have been a little oversight here on.
Oh, there you
Okay.
go.
Apparently he misspoke. He targeted the Angel.
Okay.
It's a big attack. He is allowing a block.
I would think Cast Out would be the play here. That's why we have Cast Outs in the deck.
Now again, very young players. This is...
There you go. There it is.
Yeah.
I know for Dason his first time on camera.
Yeah, and then the Shalai would go a long way to protecting that Fairgrounds Warden.
There's Refurbish. He just needs the other half of it.
Yeah.
Not there.
Branden might know that he just drew a Refurbish by Dason looking through his graveyard like this. But one thing he can do here is play that champion and then see if he can find a Godfarrow's Gift in the top of his deck, pitch it, maybe a land as well, and then Refurbish.
On-crop Crasher was exerted last time, or exerted this time because he wanted to block
Exerting,
last
he can
time.
only target the Shalai with the exert.
Because she gives everybody else hexproof, including Dason.
It also means that his burn spells aren't going to be able to target Dason to give them a little extra reach.
So Dason giving back to Kenra.
Yeah.
Has to be wondering where the heck those Godfarrow gifts are.
Yeah, he could also mill himself. She's got a hostile desert. She could play and I believe activate. I believe the cost is 3. And all he has to do is exile a land from his graveyard.
Looks like he passed turn.
Another Hazaret. No, that's a Goblin Chain
Chain
Whirler.
Whirler. So 6 mana, that's all it takes to eternalize.
It doesn't target, so it will kill the Champion of Wits.
Yep.
But that's fine. That's not a bad place for Champion to be.
Yeah, he wants him in the graveyard.
If I recall that, yeah, it's not an attack. Okay. I don't think that was an attack. I think he untapped his Crasher on accident.
Because of the exert trigger.
Right.
So he's milling 4 cards. He does have Refurbish in hand. Just cannot find that gift.
Yeah. It's not a bad draw. The Angels helping each other out. It'll be a 3/2 Angel and hopefully some servos. So some 2/2s that can't be targeted, and a 3/2 lifelink vigilance that can't be targeted.
We got our judge right next to him, just on the spot with those tokens for him. We've yet to have any issues with tokens. Good job.
No Kenras
Table
in the
judge.
yard for Branden to use his mana on yet. However, he could get a free attack in with this Kenra, and if it dies, then give him something to do next turn with his mana.
Looks like he passed the turn back to Dason. Dason found the 7th mana. Very important for him. We might be stumping our table judge on tokens here.
We go with the embalmed.
Oh, Dason's taken care of him.
Champion.
So that's now a 4/4.
You should be drawing 5. It's a 5/5.
With the Angel Invention, adds him up to 5. That's
He
correct.
needs to be drawing 1 more land or 1 more card.
So we should have our judge be able to
Yeah, he
respond
can't.
to that.
I believe he's not allowed to miss how many he drew.
Yeah, if you do part of a trigger, you're required to do the full.
Yeah.
All right. There is a bit of a delay between our stream and what you're seeing on the video, folks. So we have Jake, our tech guy. He can hear us. There they are telling Dason right now. So we'll let Gerard figure this out. He is the table judge, and that's why we have him there. So I'm pretty sure, even if he did have him draw a 5th card, he's discarding 2 islands.
Unless he draws a
Unless it's a
Godfrey's
gift.
gift.
At this point, though, Brandon's already gone on with his turn, so it looks like they're just continuing with the game.
Okay.
Which is a judge call. It's up to the judge. And it looks like that delay between our video feed may have caught. We didn't quite catch it in time.
So the 5/5 blocking the 3/3 first strike.
Looks like the 2/2 servos are getting in there also.
So
And
2/2
I'm guessing
should
Shalai
be killing another. I don't think he wants to block the Kenra if he doesn't have to gives him a 4/4 with a pretty big upside next turn for Branden if he did that. He can definitely get in for 3 in the air, buffer his life total some more.
It looks like he found a gate to the ether.
Gate to the ether.
Or a gate to the afterlife. Man. No,
Or
he found the actual
Godfrey's
gift. He
Yeah,
found the
They
gift.
don't
Okay.
play Gate to the Afterlife in blue-white typically.
Well, it's a way to get it. But getting it is even better.
Yeah, so he's in a hard cast, get Fairgrounds Warden, take this Hazoret, likely. And now that Fairgrounds Warden is a
It's a
2/4
5/5.
hexproof. Or yes, a 5/5 hexproof, I'm sorry.
Looks like we might be having some technical issues. We appreciate y'all sticking through them with us. We're in game 1 of our final round of 3. 2 undefeated players, Branden and Dason.
Dason needs to start swinging in.
Looks
Can't
like a
target.
shock on the angel.
Yeah, it's hexproof.
Yep. Can only target Shalai with that. And it's just not enough to get rid of her.
So So we can get in with this hostile desert and all those other dudes. Playing out a 1-2. Looks like he might have lethal here.
He just had to find that first gift.
10, 14, 17. 17 plus the land being 4. It's 21 damage I think he has on board here. Plus whatever he rips out of his graveyard.
Branden kept the pressure on him this whole game.
Yep.
But once that gift hit the table.
Yeah, Dason did his job. He kept the board as clean as he could.
No, he is at 7, but he's only drawn 1 card. So.
Oh man. Grew his board exponentially.
Godfrey's gift. Not even a legendary card. Just
it is a 8/8 angel right now.
I think this is where we just shake hands.
Yep. His angels
and flying. Red does not deal with it.
Doing a little shimmy.
Yep. Don't forget the Hazret.
Yep. And then sideboard, I'd like to see some abrades from Branden to contain the creatures, and then we're going to see things like cast out and authority of the consuls, and probably some number of angel of sanctions to exile Hazret. Hazaret's probably the biggest problem that Dason has to deal with in this matchup.
Shalai once
Chandra
that hit
as well. Chandra might be a thing.
Shalai seemed to really take a lot out of Branden's game.
Yeah,
once she hit the board, that changed all of his burn spells, all of his control.
Chandra is actually not that bad in this matchup.
Glory
Glory Bringer is able to swing in and clock a thing for 4. Fight with Fire is a good way to deal with Shalai. And yeah. Especially when you have an Angel of Invention.
Death by Mochi. We see you're watching from Makaha. Thank you for watching. Aloha. These guys won't join in with me, but
well, not when you make it like a big shtick. Like
well,
it's gotta be a natural.
Like, Aloha, you're saying.
Yeah.
Aloha.
You're doing the one from the luau's.
Well, that's where I learned it.
Aloha.
Thank you for joining us, Death by Mochi.
Kind of like sullying actually what it means to say aloha by saying it part of a shtick, I think.
Now I'm from Monsters Inc. I don't get what you're telling me.
I'm watching.
Thank you for watching. We're having some issues, but we do appreciate you sitting there with us and watching the game with us. We got Branden facing Dason. We hope you're enjoying the game.
Yeah, but if you've just joined us, no, he's not playing with enlarged cards. Those are the size of his hands because he's 8 years old. And yes, he's going to GP.
Both of these players undefeated right now. Which, this is why I don't mind streaming. Because it means I don't have to sit out there
it means we don't have to
and
lose.
Get beaten all the time.
Yeah, it feels great.
Now I just sit in here and get beaten by Paul verbally.
Correct.
We got him rooting for Branden.
Can't let the old people take over the world. That's how accidents on the highway happen.
We'll pass it on eventually. Just get off the sidewalk while I'm driving. Alright, so we got rooting for Branden. Mono red. He's down a game. It's a hard fight.
Oh, so you're taking sides.
No.
We got to come.
Death by Mochi.
Oh.
From Makaha.
Also, that's a good death.
I believe I know who
by Mochi?
Death by Mochi is. Yeah. Go Branden. 2 exclamation points even.
Really wants Branden to win.
Yeah.
5 exclamation points, that's just over the top.
Yeah, we just got 2 to 3.
Once you get more than 1, you know it's serious.
Yeah. All things are fine in moderation.
Even Mochi.
Alright, looks like Branden's done sideboarding. Looks like Dason's done sideboarding. Just mixing up the card, mixing up the decks to present them. And then I'm assuming that Branden will choose to be on the play.
That's an option. I mean,
I feel like I'm not out that far on a limb here.
Yeah, you're
as
not alone in thinking.
As I like to remind people, people are free to play Magic how they please, as long as it's within the confines of the tournament. So
Now this is something I've heard. Even the pros, they'll keep you waiting to know until the very end. But
yeah,
I think you're safe to assume.
depending on the salt levels.
Sorry about that, folks.
All right, we had a hurricane just come through the door.
We got to get a better door on this cave.
Yeah, I mean, the hurricane had all of its right to be coming through.
It did. It absolutely did.
But it scraped up my knee a little bit. I might have to go see a doctor.
Better get that looked at and make sure you get your claim. All right, we got Dason. Looks like he's keeping his hand. He's showing the camera for us. Looks like Branden on a mulligan. Death by Mochi, I'm sorry. You don't want to start by mulligan when you're red. Not a lot of card draw opportunities.
Red actually mulligans pretty well. It actually gets you close to casting a hazard that can attack.
Never mind what I said at all.
So it doesn't mind mulliganing as much.
So it looks like 4 lands, Fairground Warden, refurbished. Are we going to find the gift and a cast out?
Well, he's got
3
minister.
lands, strategic
So
plan.
now that he has refurbished in hand, he can turn 1 minister and just start going to town on his deck there, getting cards in the yard that he's looking for his God Pharaoh's gift on turn 4.
Now he got about a third of the way through the deck before he found 1 last game.
Well, that minister is going to help him out a lot. That's 3 cards per mill.
Yeah, you can do it twice with it.
Twice.
Do these kind of decks run Supreme Will in them? No.
No Supreme Will. It's Chart a Course and Strategic Planning typically, and Champion of Wits.
They also don't run Gate to the Afterlife.
Yeah, I feel like it's a card. It's like a Pharaoh present.
Supreme Will would put the cards on the bottom rather than the graveyard.
Okay.
Supreme Will has less graveyard synergy. Card selection, just not the synergy.
Right.
So now we're looking at Brandon's hand.
Shock,
2 mountains.
Shock, Glory Bringer. So he's got
2 mountains, Scavenger Grounds.
He's got a way to handle the minister.
It's not the early game you want, though.
And he likely will kill it.
I got a feeling he wanted a creature.
Given the option, I imagine he'll kill it here.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh. Energy trigger on the stack. He said, get rid of that thing.
Yeah. He says, with your hopes and dreams on the stack, I'll kill that thing.
So now Dason is back to
I
hoping
think
he
he drew
can
a
hit.
Hazaret.
Yeah.
And
Now he
Dason
needs to land
draws
before he can get the
Angel.
Hazaret. Oh! Another shock.
Oh, he just went upstairs.
Went to the head with it.
Okay. Probably not too many targets other than face.
Brandon has a great teacher, Gerard, huh? Well, I haven't seen Gerard win a tournament here lately.
So
I'm just saying.
Death by Mochi is really using these punctuations or grammatical abilities.
Yes.
2 exclamation points. However, on the ellipses, we don't know if it's an ellipses missing 1 dot or if it's actually 2 periods.
I don't know.
Well, you just got taken to school.
Ellipses generally has 3 periods, so maybe we'll hear back from Death by Mochi on what the intent was there.
Well, Death by Mochi cheering seems to be helping Brandon.
Yeah.
Because he's
Or
getting
Shaker
in for
Can
some
Run.
hits.
Yeah.
I still stand by my statement. I don't remember the last time Gerard won a tournament here.
I don't either. And I feel like last night, our own Brandon also may have walked away with a win as
All
well.
right, we got a Refurbish and an Angel of Invention in the
No
yard.
gifts. He does have a
No
Fairground
gift.
Warden.
I think he's
Probably
probably... He's got Cast Out and this Fairgrounds Warden. Those are both answers to it.
So he's just keeping the board clear for now.
Yeah. I think he made the right play of using the Fairgrounds Warden instead of Cast Out because the Hazaret is a bigger target, or more reliability. So therefore, using Cast Out, which is a harder thing for red to answer, is pretty good. And he answers it with a Shalai here, or protects it with a Shalai.
Brandon's just really hoping to find a 4th land right now. He's looking at his hand saying 4 mana, 4 mana. I need a land. So Death by Mochi, start cheering for a land.
People who can't teach. Oh.
Paul, aren't you teaching some soldiers right now?
Oh, I'm not. I'm actually coaching soldiers. training and mentoring, even.
Okay.
Very different words. Once again, the English language.
I also used to be an instructor, which was actually instructing and facilitating, not always teaching, using the experiential teaching methods.
Key play, Dason just discarding the God Pharaoh's gift.
So what you're saying is we should remain on point. And talk
I'm
about
moving
magic.
on with the game. I'm seeing at least
So you're
one
going to ask me
refurbished in hand.
questions and then not entertain
Expect
my
full
answers.
but not
Yeah,
really.
Paul, the answer was in the question.
and then just not care about what I have to
I
say.
know, right?
The answer was in the question.
Rude.
Oh, so it was a leading question.
You could say that. Are you an attorney? There it goes to refurbish. We're getting back to gift. What's he getting back? Is he bringing back a champion of wits?
I'll have
Or
to
a
refer
minister.
to my attorney, I guess. I don't know.
You went with the angel.
Who am I to represent my client here?
So we now have the Angel
We have
of Invention.
at least a 4/4. It's a 6/6. Actually, it's a 7/7
It does not give
With
itself a
Shalai on the
bonus.
field.
with Shalai.
Shalai
Oh,
gives
no,
a
no, no.
plus
Plus
angel
one, plus
bonus.
one?
Shalai doesn't give the bonus.
Shalai gives
That's
hexproof.
Lyra.
It is
Ah,
just 6/6.
Lyra gives-
Lyra gives, yeah.
Other
But it
angels.
does change the math on all the other creatures.
Correct. Of note, a hexproof 6/6 flying lifelink vigilance is quite difficult for red to handle.
We have a block,
I imagine.
but the
Just
lifelink
one.
is.
I imagine this is gonna get a cast out.
I'm moving the advantage bar into Dason's side right now for game 2. I'm sorry, Death by Mochi. But
Ooh, a settle.
this is getting a little bit too
That
much.
settle is pretty good, especially if he has a land to go with this hand here. She does not yet.
He does have Fairground Wardens to get rid of the
Yep.
Phoenix.
One thing he could do here is propose an attack, wait for him to activate the Aethersphere Harvester, and then Fairgrounds Warden that Aethersphere Harvester. He did not accrue, I don't think he accrued in response to the Fairgrounds Warden trigger.
Does Fairground Wardens have flash?
No.
Okay, so it's not a. He can't do it
So-
during combat, but
Correct, but he can do it in the second main phase.
Yep.
So kind of a bait.
I think just getting rid of that Phoenix though. That Phoenix is such a problem card. You got to get rid of it when you can.
Oh, Branden looks like he's scooping up.
Yeah, that game didn't go so good for him. That's by Mochi.
Yeah.
He was stuck on 3 lands with 4 mana spells in hand, and Dason just took that time to build the board right up.
Yeah.
So
This is one of the matchups I think Godfrey actually excels in because of these creature exiling effects. It's where Godfrey's Gift really excels for the blue-white version, at least. That's what makes blue-white better than, say, blue-red or just straight red or blue-black. Yeah, the other variants is you get things like these creatures that exile on ETB.
now game 1, we saw Branden did his best to get some damage in and got a lot of damage in against Dason. But Dason was able to stabilize. Dason, good job. We got Dason in the booth with us right now. Say hey. I like to say aloha. Give me 5. Thank you, Dason.
Corrupting the children.
Dason, have a seat, bud. Great job tonight. Undefeated, 3 rounds.
Thank you.
Good job. Godfrey's Gift. Is that you've been wanting to play? Because you used to play Pirates. I remember you playing Pirates.
Like vampires, even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What put you on Godfrey's Gift?
Well, I feel like it's one of the consistent decks, and I just felt like Godfrey's Gift was probably a cool card.
Well, it worked for you 3 rounds undefeated.
What were you worried about in that matchup?
Last one, Branden?
Yeah.
I was mostly worried about him rushing me, and me not being able to get set up, or me not hitting land drops, which happens to everybody.
Were you considering any sideboard cards he might have brought in?
I accidentally already had the 3 Fairground Wardens in my main already.
Meaning, Brand. What do you think Branden brought in to fight your deck? Were you considering those things while playing?
No, I didn't really check the meta for any
Like,
aggro's side.
meaning
So,
like Abrades and the like. Maybe Abrade your Godfrey's Gifts or your Fairgrounds Wardens.
Yeah, that might have been. Actually, maybe he might have sided in the Aether Spheres. I think those were in the side board.
So what were you hoping, or what was going through your mind when you were trying to hit your God Pharaoh's gift? Every time you're trying to mill yourself and you couldn't get it.
It took you a long time, game one, to find that gift.
Yeah. I just thought, well, I just need to maintain the field. I don't exactly need the God Pharaoh's gift to win. I just need to prevent him from getting me down to any low amount so he can just burn me.
Yep. And he got you down below 10, but once you were able to stabilize, he turned it around pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
And then game 2, the gift just came right out for you. He got rid of that early minister.
Yep.
But once the gift hit the board, you were doing pretty good, especially with Shalai.
Yeah.
Out there protecting your other guys.
Mm-hmm.
Very good games.
Thank you.
Did you go up against any interesting decks that caught your eye tonight?
Let's see. So
what did you do? You remember what you played against?
okay, first game was mono white. Second game was actually, what was the second game?
I don't know.
I forget myself.
It wasn't a feature match.
Whatever it was, you beat him.